Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Usama from Orange Cyber, and I am a product manager responsible for threat detection services. And thank you again for joining us for this webinar. The title is Stop Funding Tools and Start Financing Resilience. The main discussion today include three main topics. One, consolidation, or how do you replace 15 plus tools with a platform. Retaining talent, how to solve the burnout crisis in the cyber industry by automating the busy work. And finally, we'll talk about scaling to the boardroom by translating SOC metrics into business value. And today, I'm very delighted to be joined by Sebastian from patchwork.
Great. Thank you very much, Usama. Pleased to be here with you today. It's always good to co-present with our strategic partner, Orange Cyber Defense. So thank you very much for having me. So in order to quickly introduce myself, my name is Sebastian Martins. I'm managing strategic partnerships within Palo Alto Networks and specifically within the Cortex business unit. So everything that has to do with security operations and the SOC transformation is what I'm responsible for.
Amazing. Welcome, Sebastian. Sebastian, today we are tackling a question that we actually hear every day from cybersecurity professionals, which is we are spending more on security tools and still feel exposed, and sometimes even less secure. So maybe let me start by sharing some insights. So at Orange Cyber Defense, we still see a lot of organizations using fragmented tools, dealing with disconnected alerts, and most importantly, doing a lot of manual effort. So this obviously leads to a less efficient threat detection. Analysts today spend much more time reacting to incidents rather than anticipating threats. And at Orange Cyber Defense, we see this as a strong case for platformization, which is not just about reducing the number of tools that are being used in SOC, but actually about building a modern SOC that is more scalable, more efficient, and built to face the AI challenges we see today. This is also why it is very important to have the strong partnership between Palo Alto Networks and Orange Cyber Defense. Palo Alto Networks bring the innovation and technology with the Cortex XIM holistic SOC platform, and Orange Cyber Defense brings the expertise, the operational experience to deliver end-to-end security outcomes to our customers. So Sebastian, why the isolated architecture is failing today's business?
Yeah, thanks, Usama. So I believe it's failing because complexity is the enemy of agility, right? So when you look at customers, they often have like more than 20 different cybersecurity tools in their security operations tool stack. And all these tools are operating separately, right? So by doing this, you simply create blind spots, which is obviously not good. In this sense, manually triaged and manually stitched together. And yeah, it requires accessing multiple tools, multiple dashboards, which ultimately is very time consuming and in the end, inefficient and ineffective. Ultimately, that's what we're trying to solve at Palo Alto Networks, right? So we've been driving Cortex XIM to break this siloed approach when it comes to SOC security and security operations by unleashing the power of automation and Palo Alto Networks precision AI to solve this specific issue. So if you even look more recently, we've moved into frontier AI through initiatives such as Project Cloud, which is of course a hot topic linked to the Anthropic's Mythos model, to ensure the SOC isn't just reactive, but actually augmented by real intelligence. So ultimately, it's about aligning security with business outcomes and not just chasing ghosts in the logs, I would say.
Indeed, Sebastian, it's all about business outcomes. Let's start with our first topic, which is an important topic for the C-suite, but most importantly, for the CFO out there. Let's talk about the financial optimization investment of consolidating tools. So cybersecurity in general, the SOC more specifically, is seen as center. So how does focusing on consolidating tools actually change that math?
Yeah. So ultimately, it eliminates redundancy, right? So again, by replacing, let's say, 15 siloed tools with Cortex XIM, it strips out the overlapping licenses and eliminates the blind spots in the security operations, which are created with these siloed, unintegrated tools, right? So with Cortex and Cortex XIM specifically, we believe that we should integrate the main functionalities of the Security Operations Center, right? So if you think about SIEM for event management or SOAR for automation and orchestration, but definitely as well XDR, right? So extended detection and response, where we combine endpoint telemetry, network telemetry, cloud telemetry, but also identities, logs, etc., all at once. So these are really the main pillars of the SOC: SIEM, SOAR, and XDR, complemented by several other technologies. But by integrating this tooling into one single platform, we're able to provide cost savings in terms of TCO, so total cost of ownership for our customers, all while at the time obviously augmenting the client security posture. That's what it's all about, right? And so a quick analysis within Palo Alto Networks. So we have a team which we call the Business Value Consulting team. We analyzed 50 customers globally that operate Cortex XIM and have really embraced this platformization strategy of validating the security operations, right? And in this analysis, we found that on average, we can reduce the total cost of ownership by 30%. So 30% cost reduction is really achieved by this strategy, which is quite impressive. So to complement, and lately the real platform play is seen by the many acquisitions that Palo Alto has been doing. So in recent weeks and months, we've basically completed 3 major acquisitions. The first one would be Koi, which has ultimately unlocked a new category, which we call agentic endpoint security, or AES. CyberArk, obviously, there was a lot of noise around CyberArk, which has been the biggest acquisition of Palo Alto to date for identity and privileged access management. And then the latest one would have been Portkey, that is really all about AI models and agents. So by either ingesting or integrating identity and AI security directly into the Cortex SOC platform, we ultimately remove the need for customers to build these operations themselves.
Indeed, that is a strong consolidation. And that's exactly why at Orange Cyber Defense, we wrap the Cortex XIM platform into a standardized, scalable service layer that we deliver to our customers through our Core Fusion platform to deliver this actual operational value. As you said, platformization is about reducing the number of tools, but also it's about aligning to the customer business objectives and security outcomes. And we can say confidently today that Orange Cyber Defense is the largest partner for Palo Alto Networks in Europe, and more specifically for the Cortex and XIM. We have 150 trained and certified SOC engineers working on these technologies and servicing more than 450 joint Cortex customers. So we bring to the table both scale and proven expertise to the table.
Yeah, that's entirely right. So the partnership between Palo Alto Networks and Orange Cyber Defense is definitely very valuable, right? So besides, like you said, being our largest partner in Europe, the crucial thing for me personally has been that Orange Cyber Defense has always been at the forefront of innovation and embraces all these technologies and modules within Palo Alto Networks and specifically within Cortex, right? So as mentioned, very fast, it's a very dynamic industry. SOC security is ever dynamic, ever moving. So yeah, thanks for OCD for always being at the forefront of this innovation. And ultimately, what counts the most towards the business outcomes and security outcomes of the customers is the managed you guys have built this platform. And this is ultimately really a game changer for the customer. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Sebastian. Now on to our second topic in this webinar, which is about the talent crisis in the cyberspace. We all know that cyber talent is pretty rare these days. What we have seen is if SOC analysts are their time doing manual triage of alerts, well, one, it is a waste of their talent. Two, it's not efficient in the era of threats. Most importantly, they would leave ultimately.
Yeah.
So how does the XIM platform solves this issue and provides our analysts with more added value to deliver?
Yeah. So basically, we executed the complete whole of the Security Operations Center, right? redid the maths, right? So we moved from a human-led tool assistant to instead an AI-led human-augmented approach, right? So as we discussed, XIM handles the repetitive busy work by making sure that we lead with an automation-first approach, right? Something which comes quite natural to Cortex and to XIM because we've inherited the automation part, automation and orchestration from Corsair, right? So which is ultimately the leading automation and orchestration tool, which OECD is heavily invested in themselves. So in the end, it's all about ingesting large volumes of data, unleashing automation and machine learning, complemented with AI to do the heavy lifting in terms of normalizing the data, stitching and triaging the data, right? And thereby making sure that the SOC focus, like you said before, on actual valuable work, such as threat hunting and doing other proactive activities to optimize the security operations instead of doing repetitive tasks that don't really deliver any outcome.
Exactly, and this is the concept of modern SOC gets into play, and this is what the modern SOC should actually, as you said, AI should handle the repetitive alert processing, so analysts can focus more on investigation, threat hunting, anticipating threats and exposures. And basically, this is what we call the level 3 in the SOC jargon. At Orange Cyber Defense, as you said, we've been early adopters of the Cortex XSOAR platform, and that DNA is now part of the delivery that we provide to our customers today. But one critical point, Sebastian, is that an orchestration requires experience because it has to be built around strong processes, and these processes need to be built around business outcomes for the customer. So the automation first approach is obviously at what Orange Cyber Defense delivers to its customers through our Core Fusion platform. So we industrialize and automations and orchestrations, so our analysts can really be focused on added value, threat hunting, investigation, and anticipation. And this obviously leads to real business outcomes for our customers, faster response, operations strain, and a better resilience.
Yeah, and ultimately that's what it's all about, right? This will definitely pay off. So when we look at the main SOC metrics, like the mean time to detect, mean time to respond, it was a complete overhaul, right? We're now talking about seconds to detect, days, and maximum to actually respond to the threats. So that's really the game changer here and the main outcome.
Indeed. On to our next topic about risk and the modern SOC more specifically. Let's talk a little bit about this. We base it at Orange Cyber Defense on 4 pillars. So threat intelligence, management, posture management, and detection and response. Obviously, all of this powered by AI. So how does the Cortex XIM platform powers this or fuels this model?
Ultimately, XIM is the engine. It's built to ingest everything, but a tool is only as good as the data it's feeding, right? So
indeed, it's all about the data, and this is where threat intelligence that Orange Cyber Defense uniquely deliver to its customers plays a big role. We have more than 400 sources of threat intelligence that we feed directly into the platform, which gives the customer not only strategic awareness, but also operational context and proactive prevention. And this is also, Sebastian, where there is another main concept that really matters, which is continuous threat exposure management, or CTEM, as we call it. For us, it really means that the paradigm from being active to being proactive and continuously identifying and managing exposures before they even have or turn into an impact for our customers. So in a nutshell, when you combine threat intelligence, exposure management, detection response with this CTEM framework, you can deliver an end-to-end security to our customers based on a better understanding of business, but also a better prioritization in terms of what matters most to them and what threats are really meaningful for them.
Yeah, so OCD's CTEM principle, the continuous threat exposure management, is a solid framework, right? Which shifted basically the approach around cybersecurity from reactive to proactive. and making sure to focus on what's actually important, because in the end, it's all about prioritization in cybersecurity.
Indeed, indeed. So next up, Sebastian, our fourth and final point, the boardroom alignment, right? The boardroom, they want metrics, they want insights to better drive their business, keep it protected. How do we translate cyber into business?
Yeah, important indeed, Usama. So basically, you stop talking about cybersecurity as a blocker and start talking about it as an enabler for operational resilience, right? So ultimately what is appealing to the board members and the strategic decision makers within a company. So you show the company's board how SOC transformation based on Cortex XIM reduces the window of risk by, let's say, X%, all while lowering software and cost overhead, right? So those two variables we're talking about. And it boils down to, let's say, on average, 30% reduction in TCO that we're after, in combination with the increased posture and resilience. So this should obviously resonate to the decision makers of the company.
Indeed, indeed. And let me say that we take that even a step further on cyber defense SOC performance benchmarking. Because let's face it, every customer is always comparing themselves to their industry peers and competitors. They want to know how they are doing compared to them. So at Orange Cyber Defense, we have delivered a new customer portal that is fueled by the Cortex XIM platform, which connects into into business performance and business objectives, and show how the SOC is actually different industries or different customers against each other. For example, in financial services, the focus may be the mean time to detect and contain critical incidents, or stopping identity-based for in automotive manufacturing, it may be other threats or threats intercepted before operational disruption or incidents are actually affecting the production. We also translate the cyber to business through the personalized security navigator, which gives our customers a visual view of their true positive incident metrics from actor to action to asset. So this helps them basically to quickly identify recurring incidents, paths, and prioritize improvement efforts.
Yeah. So yeah, this benchmarking you referred to and the initiative that OCD is taking on that front is definitely of interest to customers, right? Ultimately, every single customer wants to know what the main critical vulnerabilities are specific to their industry that they're operating in. And so in general, it's always good to know where you stand in terms of security posture and readiness compared to your main competitors, or at least the other players in the industry. So this benchmarking is definitely a valuable tool for the customers.
Indeed, indeed. Sebastian, we are almost at time. It's been a pleasure having this chat with you. Obviously, the partnership between Orange Cyber Defense and Palo Alto Networks is unique. We have a leading platform provider combined with EMEA's leading managed security service provider. That is a great combo. So together, we help our customers move from fragmented architectures to a modern SOC powered by AI, built on platformization, threat intelligence, orchestration, to be resilient in this AI era. So with our Palo Alto Networks expertise, certification, and joint customer scale, our CTEM framework, we help organizations together to turn XIM into real end-to-end security and business outcomes. So whether you are transitioning into a modern SOC or just starting to escape the tool sprawl, we have the experience and scale to help make it happen. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you again, Sebastian.
Sama, it's been a pleasure to co-host this with you today. Thank you for everybody who tuned in, and basically let's keep up the good work to keep the customers protected, right?
Indeed.
Cheers.
Thanks.